Of Trading Secrets. Today, I am joined by blogger, podcaster, social media star, and Barstool personality, Brianna Chickenfry LaPaglia. Brianna is the host of Barstool sports podcast, BFFs. Plan, Brie, and Sleep When You're Dead. She has grown a social media following to over 400,000 followers on Instagram, 1.6 million on TikTok, and continues to see her following grow each and every day. Must be nice, Brianna. You have to tell me the secrets. Brianna has established herself as a social media icon, and it all started by going viral on TikTok while being hung over in college. We'll get into that. To some, it may seem crazy, but Brianna has been able to capitalize on her unexpected rise to fame in more ways than one. We're going to do a deep dive into how Brianna has been able to create and hold such a strong social media following, what her life at Barstool Sports looks like, and what other ventures she sees herself pursuing moving forward. Brianna, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you. What an intro.
You like that?
I've never had one like that before.
Did you guys do that on the BFFs podcast?
Oh, no.
Or Plan
They're
Brie?
This is stupid Brie here. Now we're here with her. I'm like, okay.
Whatever it is, it's fucking working. All right, we're going to get into it. I want to kick it off with this clip. I saw this clip, and I said to my manager over here, I was like, it's not that we want her on, we need her on. And so for everyone at home, I'm going to play the clip, and then I just want to like kind of dive into this a little bit.
What also pisses me off and why everyone in the influencer realm gets fucked is no one talks about money.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And I don't know why it's such a niche thing. Like, if everyone talked about what they got paid for brand deals and how much money they were making, then it would benefit all of us.
Yeah.
Like, people just don't talk about it. So then you don't know your rate. There's no one to ask. There's no one to go, like, there's not an influencer coach.
Yeah, that's also true in, like, regular work world, too. Like, like a 9 to 5.
Quick thing, Evan, make sure the clip, let's overplay it because there's some sounds there and put it in so quick edit. Okay, so that's the clip. That's the clip where I was like, we got to get you on. You said it right. That's the crux of this podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there is nowhere to go. You have no idea what your value is. So through your crazy journey of how fast it's been and your rise in following and just attention and engagement, how have you been able to find out like what your value should be for the stuff you're doing?
Well, I still don't know my value almost because nobody talks about it. But when I first started, I remember I got my contract with Barstool, and it was like, I don't know, $75,000 for like a year. But I was like nobody yet. I didn't have followers. And I was like, this is amazing. This is crazy. And I didn't know what other influencers were making that for a swipe up. And I'm like, this is going to be my salary, which I thought was amazing. So I didn't know that yet. And then I got into Barstool and I started talking to people. And even people at Barstool didn't want to tell me how much they were making, which was really frustrating because I didn't know what to base anything off of. I didn't know anything. I didn't know what my coworkers were making. I didn't know what someone with the same level as like followers was making as me. So I had no idea where to go. Okay. So that's where I kind of went to Rhea. Do you know Rhea from Barstool?
Of course. They've both been on.
Yeah.
They have? I've been on their show a bunch of times, and they've come on our show.
Yeah. So I went to them, and I'm just like straight up, we weren't even that friends yet, but I was like, how much money do you guys make? And they looked at me like I had 10 heads. Yeah. I'm like, I guess that's a crazy question because everyone makes it a crazy question. Yeah. Then they flat out just told me, and I went straight to my boss, and I'm like, here's what I should be making. This is what I should be doing. But I was so scared to ask people because it was such a taboo topic.
Yeah, it's interesting. So when they came on, they were saying, and I think this is genius, they go into their annual reviews together, and they said at least, they get paid the exact same. So they each know what each other makes, and there's never a question like, oh, well, who's bringing more value? It doesn't create a tension between them. They're like, we both all get paid the same. Do you have anybody in the Barstool circle that like you go in together with, like that you understand exactly what they're making, or is it just you on your own?
It's just me, and this is where it's hard, and I think a lot of people that are influencers or do like what I do struggle with is my parents have no idea what I do, so they can't help me. Like, I can't ask them for advice. They don't know what I should be making. They have no idea what I do. With Barstool, you really don't have management, so I don't have like a manager. I'm just at Barstool, so I go into these meetings alone, and I'm almost like gauging everything off of my knowledge and by myself, which is probably the most intimidating part about it.
Sure.
Yeah, so I don't really know what I should be asking for, and that's why I made that clip. I started talking about it. I started talking to other influencers. I'm like, hey, how much money do you guys make? Yeah. What do you make for a swipe up? What do you make for a brand deal? And that's helped me.
And one of the tough things about the whole industry, and this is what ended up me starting we started our own talent management company, because I got off The Bachelor, and then there's all these deals coming in, right? And there's all these different agents. And what's crazy is I would have 3 different agents pitching me the same brand, the same deal, the same delivery, and the difference in the price point was like 4x.
Isn't that
So I'm like, where the fuck's, how? You have this, everything's the same. How the hell am I getting paid 1/4 of what someone else is offering me from the same brand? Just because there's so many hands in the pot. So even when it's challenging to benchmark your value against other people, in this world, you can't even benchmark your value against yourself because of all this shit going on.
It's crazy.
It is nuts. It is nuts. We're going to get into that, and I'm curious about the Barstool contracts and just like, do you even get percentage of deals and stuff? But before I even go there, I think your story is pretty wild. You leave college at your senior year to drop out to go to Barstool. I'm going to ask you about that. Before I do, how did Barstool find you?
Barstool found me on TikTok. So I started making TikToks, I think it was my junior year of college.
Okay.
And like you said earlier, they were just hungover TikToks, and I was just kind of being a shithead on TikTok. I didn't think it was going to go anywhere. I didn't think I was going to get any views. And then one video blew up, and I got a DM from Barstool Sports, and I thought they wanted to post it on their main page.
Sure.
I was like, hell no, because I see the comments on that shit. I was like, I don't want you to post my video anywhere. Yeah. And then they were like, no, we want to talk to you. And they emailed me. His name's Gaz. He works at Barstool. And he reached out to me. He found me. And they were like, do you want to fly out to New York to come meet everyone?
Yeah.
At this point, I didn't really know what Barstool was. I knew it was an Instagram page, and I knew who Dave Portnoy was, a pizza guy. Yeah. But I didn't know the depths of Barstool. Like, I didn't know there was a podcast for everything there or whatever. So I was like, yeah, fuck it, I'll fly to New York. This is crazy. Like, it was the craziest thing I'd ever done in my life at that point. So I flew out to New York from Ohio, and I went into the office. I met with Gaz, and we just sat down. I swear to God, I don't even know what I was shaking. Like,
I was going to just guess, are you pretty nervous? Like,
I took a couple shots before I went. It was like 10 a.m. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so fucking nervous. So I took a couple shots. I went in. I have no idea what I was doing. Like,
were you like buzzed or drunk when you went in?
I was a little buzzed, which was helpful.
Confession. I never told this. I have had beers before, and like back before I went on the reality show, I was a corporate banker and stuff, and I'd have interviews. I would rifle down a few beers before.
Right? It eases it.
I get nervous in some of those situations.
I know.
Especially, I fucking hate interviews in general. I hate them.
So awkward.
It's like you're literally sitting as people that are judging everything. The way you talk, the way you tone, the way you're sitting, and then like you just don't even know what to do. Interviews are tough.
I couldn't even do presentations in college. So the fact that this is my job is crazy. But I went in, I'm a little buzzed, whatever, we're talking, and I don't even remember what we talked about or what I said. It was like in one ear, out the other, because I was just so nervous. And he gave me a tour of the office, and he sent me back to Ohio, and I didn't hear from them for like 3 months. I think they wanted to gauge if I was like serious about it. So like they followed me on social media, see what I was doing. And I was like, fuck it, they're not calling me back. So I just continued on my own. And I started making my own merch in my college living room. So I wholesale ordered, I spent my whole bank account. I wholesale ordered a bunch of white sweatshirts, and then I handmade like the hungover ones in my college living room. And then it was like a sweatshop. Like the whole thing was packed full.
Real quick, let me ask you, how much did you spend on the wholesale?
Wholesale. I think I spent like $3,000, and I made like $6,000.
Okay, so you double your money, and then what's on the shirt? Like what were you
Hungover.
selling? It just said hungover.
It just said hungover.
Brilliant.
Simple.
Okay.
Red hungover. I was like, it's my brand. What else am I going to put on my hoodie?
Yeah.
So, I made those for a while. And then Barstool reached out to me, I think, 2.5 weeks after they saw me do that. And we're like, hey, we want you.
Interesting. Do you think it was the merch play that like got them more interested?
Maybe because they saw my story that I like sold out so fast, and they're like, oh, we can make some money off of this girl, even if it was short term. I don't know if they thought I had longevity in me, but they reached out to me, and it was for an internship. So it was just an internship I had the shortest internship in Barstool history. I think it was a week long.
So you dropped out of college to pursue an internship at Barstool Sports?
No. I did full-time Barstool Sports and full-time biochem major in college for like a year.
Okay. What did the internship at Barstool pay?
God, I think it was like $20 an hour.
Okay. So it's like an hourly.
It was an hourly thing. You could only do 40 hours a week. I was working way more than that, but I wasn't telling them because I just like really wanted the job. Yeah. So I was just pushing shit out. But it was very much like, couldn't like live off of that.
And what the hell does an intern at Barstool do? Like what you actually had to do with that?
So this is the great part about Barstool is if you want to be an intern, it's free realm. So I could just go in and do whatever I wanted, make whatever content I wanted to make, and if it worked, it worked. If it didn't, they'd be like, sayonara. Because I was on with, I think, 4 or 5 other interns, and I was the only one that got hired because they weren't trying. So what I did basically is I created my brand, which was Plan Brie, and it started as an Instagram page. So I pumped out an Instagram video and a YouTube video a day, and I recorded and edited it all by myself. And I pumped one out a day, and then I just started funneling them ideas. And then I also worked on my merch, and it just kind of took off from there.
That is wild. Okay, so when you create that Instagram, Plan Brie, when you're an intern, do you own the Instagram or do they own the Instagram?
They own it.
They own it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they own my IP.
Okay. And so then you go through the internship. After the internship, that is when you're offered this $75K job.
Yes, that's when I think it might have just been 70. I can't remember. It was like 3 years ago, but yeah, it was 70K, and I was like, this is so cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Unreal.
Unreal money. Yeah, I thought it was crazy.
And this, so Fran and Rhea, it's kind of same situation in which they were interns early on in school. And Fran's at Georgetown, where mom and dad go. It's like fucking Ivy League school. Yeah. And drops out, and this Barstool wasn't 1/10 of what
oh my God,
it was.
It was like nothing.
It was a joke. It was nothing.
Yeah.
So she took a huge risk. It paid off. What made you decide I'm gonna leave? And, by the way, your senior year, like you're almost done. Why not just get the damn degree?
Almost done. So I kind of looked at it as, so my whole life I wanted to do something creative. Like I used to make, in my hometown, we would have auditions. I would audition like people in my neighborhood to make movies. I would write them, direct them on my little camera. So I always wanted to do something creative. Yeah. But I come from a family where I'm like the first one. My parents didn't go to college. They grew up in the projects. They barely graduated high school. Like we're very like low class, and I wanted to do something for my family. So I felt like I almost had to. So I went to school pre-med because my parents wanted me to go to school pre-med. And then I think it was my junior or sophomore year, I called my dad. I was like, please, 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 can I change my minor to film? And he was like, what the fuck are you going to do with that? I'm like, no, I promise like I could do something with it because I wanted to do screenwriting. Like that's my long-term goal. And I changed it to film, and I fell in love with it, and I hated pre-med. So once I got the Barstool opportunity, and I was like happy, I was enjoying what I was doing for work, I didn't even think twice about it. I was like, I'm dropping out and I'm doing something that I want to do.
Yeah. That's, oh my God. That's into mom and dad. Like, what are they saying to you when you're going to drop out senior year?
Oh, that was tough. That was really tough. It was a lot of convincing, a lot of promises that I'll pay them back for all of my loans, all of that. Still working on it, did some of it. But it was more so they saw that I was happy because pre-med it was not easy. I was like mentally not there. I was also an athlete. So I was just miserable. They didn't even know who I was anymore. And once I got this Barstool opportunity, they were like, oh, Brianna's back. So they were like, just do what you want.
And when you told them the money behind it, did that change anything for them?
A little bit. When I started paying my own bills, because they were like, this isn't going to be, what are you talking about? You're making videos on the Instagram, the Facebook is what they say. I'm like, yeah, no. And then I started paying my bills. They weren't paying my rent. I haven't asked for money since I got my job.
And so they were like, all right,
they're like, you're good.
Just go for it.
Yeah.
Okay. So you build your social media following right now. TikTok, go follow Brianna Chickenfry, 1.6 million. Twitter, 102,000 followers. Instagram, 419,000 followers. That's a shit ton of global followers, right? That's like that's almost it's over 2 million followers. Were you making any, other than your merch, were you making any money off your social media before you went to Barstool?
No.
None.
I was an idiot. So I fell into the trap, which I think a lot of influencers do too, is the gifting exchange. So I was taking free things and just like posting a video for them, thinking that's because they email me about gifting. They don't even mention money. So I'm like, of course. I don't have a manager. I live in Ohio. There's not another person that's on TikTok here that has a following. I have no one to ask. So I was just accepting all of these giftings, giving them free promo, making zero money.
God, oh my God, that's irritating because
really
is now the case that Barstool, do they take over the IP of what you built before you built it and before you came to Barstool? Like, do they own those?
They don't have Brianna Chickenfry. The only thing they own is my YouTubes, my obviously my IP Plan Brie, and my merch.
Okay, so if you can then take deals for Brianna Chickenfry and Brianna LaPaglia on Instagram without Barstool having to approve it.
If I were to leave Barstool. So in my
Interesting.
contract, with all of our advertisers, we're not allowed to like take outside advertising. So I can't like do a swipe up or anything like that because it could conflict with some of my advertising in my podcast.
There could be like
and stuff.
exclusivity issues or
Yeah,
something.
it's exclusivity.
That's
Yeah,
wild. That you're leaving. There's a lot of money you're leaving on the table for
I
that.
know. I know.
So, and with Josh, so obviously you're part of BFF's podcast, huge podcast.
Mm-hmm.
It's you, Josh, and Dave. You're like the glue of that podcast. I consider
Thank
you
you.
like the backbone. They need you.
Yeah,
in that
it got a lot better when I came on.
It got
and
way better.
I barely even talked in the beginning, but they
Yeah.
just needed. It was too broy.
It was
like,
way too They needed balance.
They needed
and they
something.
needed someone to like kind of. They got big personalities. They need someone to check them.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
love the way you check them.
Yeah,
You do
thank
that great.
you, thank
But
you.
you're telling me that like so Josh, all those followers,
Mm-hmm.
all the deals on his table, he can't do a deal unless Barstool approves it.
He can because he's not a full-time Barstool employee. So
Interesting.
he like
Okay.
the only thing he is with Barstool on is BFFs.
Okay.
So I'm like a full-time Barstool employee, whereas Josh isn't. So
Okay.
he can do all of his other ventures. He can do all of his other things.
And so this is when we talk about career advancement and pay transparency. And I know this is very specific to Barstool, but
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people in all different industries and worlds, walks of life, go through this at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Like rubber meets the road. Like we saw it with Alex Cooper and
Mm-hmm.
Barstool. You're on the same trajectory as her in the same path. First question: do you feel like you are? Do you see that you're doing like in a rate at which she was doing what you're doing? Do you agree with that or no?
No, I don't. I mean, this is at Barstool, I'm always compared, or not compared, but kind of just like aligned with Alex because we, I don't know, started doing the same thing. We have the same podcast and I blew up quickly as she did.
Yeah.
But it's kind of scary to be compared to her.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if I like to be compared to her. Obviously, I want to be like her.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it just feels like a lot of pressure. Like, I feel like I need to grow a certain amount every
Sure.
single quarter so that, like, my next year, if I'm not on the Alex Cooper trajectory anymore, am I going to get my raise? Am I going to get this, you know? So I just feel like it's a lot to live up to
Mm-hmm.
in a good way, but also it's a lot on me.
Do you ever think about going off? There's more value in going off on your own and not worrying about your next raise and just being your own brand? Or
Yeah, of
to you,
course.
is that in a future plan or is that TBD?
Of course, I always think about like leaving Barstool, what it would look like. Not because I want to, but because Dave says like Barstool is a stepping stone. So it's
Yeah,
like
that's
if
his
you get
thing.
really big, you know, we can't afford to pay you a $60 million
Sure,
Spotify deal.
sure.
So it is a stepping stone, and I know eventually one day I will leave.
Yeah.
But it's more so, it's so scary that when I do leave, I don't have that like comfort
Guaranteed.
zone, the guarantee
Yeah.
of, you know, my next paycheck or like my
Totally.
health benefits or all of just like the company that backs me no matter what is
Mm-hmm.
what I love about Barstool. So yeah, I think about it, but also I get scared about it.
I get that too. So I mean, just in this world, there's so much. We talk about a lot with influencers that come on and stuff. It could end tomorrow. Like
Yeah.
you just don't know when your next deal is going to come in and with the rate at which it comes in, your engagement, things that impact it. And so I even when you're trying to like budget, it's like, okay, this year was massive, but what do I do for next year?
Yeah.
And I do agree the stability has got to be a huge factor.
Oh,
with
it's
that.
huge. And then that's my biggest thing because I went to LA and I had Brooke Schofield on my podcast.
Yeah.
She's also like an influencer, but she's not to the extent of like Josh Richards, Bryce
Sure.
Hall. So I feel like she's kind of smaller than me, but similar to me in a way where if I were to leave, we would kind of be in the same boat. And she like struggling. She doesn't know when her next deal is coming in. She takes deals that she can't take other deals because there's like a crossover, so she can't
Yeah.
do them. And she's just like, I don't know how I'm going to pay my rent if I don't take these deals. It's just scary, and I don't want to do that.
What's her following? Do you know? I'm just curious.
I think she's like smaller. I think she has like 200,000.
Okay. Yeah.
But she was on a big podcast with Tana Mojo.
Yeah.
So that like blew her up, and I don't know. It's just scary. Like the value, I don't know what my value would be outside of Barstool.
And it's interesting, even in the world of like the Bachelor guys and girls, we try and do what you guys do, like what you just did, like compare. There's no comparison.
No.
I was just with Clayton, who was a Bachelor just like literally like 6 months ago. And he was saying he can't find a deal anywhere.
Yeah.
He can't get a deal in anything. He was telling me that his total amount of deals and value that he's gotten since coming off The Bachelor, and the number he gave me was less than one deal that we just sourced for Adobe. And the thing is it's just crazy that so many people could be in similar lanes but have totally different things happen.
It's crazy.
It's like almost luck. I don't know.
Yeah,
There's
and there's this weird like loophole on TikTok because there's a lot of people that have millions of followers, and then they have like 1 million followers on Instagram, right? And I have 400,000.
Yeah.
Their engagement is like so much lower than mine. I have like a very high engagement.
Totally.
So it's crazy because they'll get paid so much more for these deals when in reality, if I were to get the deal, I should be getting paid more because my followers are like followers. Like they listen to what I say. I don't know. They like what I say. They like to listen to me, and their other followers just are there to like a picture, which is crazy. So when you want to gauge a brand deal, it's like, how do you explain that to someone?
Yeah, well, what we're seeing in our talent agency is these brands now have these crazy softwares where they're tapping into all your numbers.
Okay.
And your followers don't mean shit.
Yeah.
Like, and we're seeing it. So we'll see someone with 400,000 followers that'll have engagement that is scored at like an A+ level versus someone who has 2 million followers. And that $400,000 deal, they will now get paid 3x of the 2 million followers.
Yeah.
And it also, they break down your audience. So there's a lot more equity if you have a female-based audience right now.
Yeah, mine's
Why?
all girls.
Right? Because women in general, according to every study that's out there marketing, will swipe more often. They will click more often. They will buy more often.
Yeah.
That's not a sexist comment. It's just what the numbers say.
Yeah.
So that's where the numbers go. It's crazy. All right, I got to get your take on this. 54% of Americans between the ages of 13 and 38 are saying they want to become an influencer full time if given the chance. Given like your trajectory of being pre-med, going to changing your major, dropping out of school, doing what you're doing now, would you recommend this as a career track?
Oh God, no. No way I wouldn't.
And this is coming from someone who's like hit the lottery here.
Yeah.
I'm shocked to hear that.
I mean, of course it's amazing, but I think it truly, especially in my lane, if you were to do the exact same thing I do, if you were to work for Barstool, it's very mentally taxing. And I don't think people understand that when you sign up to do this, there's no turning back. And people have such like fixated perceptions of me, and they think that I'm this person that I'm completely not, which it's just, you have to realize if you're signing up to become an influencer or to be a social media person, you're throwing away that like normalcy, and it's gone for a very long time, if not forever.
So what's the biggest change you've seen from your normal life before to today? For the good and bad, like what is a really good thing and what is something that you're like, this is, I don't know, it's taking a mental toll. It's messed me up a little bit.
Yeah, I think the best thing obviously is just I have like full creative freedom with whatever I do, and it's like whatever I want to put out there, I can put out there. It's the best job in that aspect, where it's like I'm not working a 9 to 5, and it is the best job ever. But at the same time, I feel like I'm like not a person anymore. Like when I go out and do things, my whole demographic is college girls. So whenever I'm going out with my friends on the weekend, like I have to remember someone's looking at me or a girl's going to come up to me, and I can't be stupid. I have to watch what I say. I'm also a people pleaser.
Yeah.
So I just try to make everyone happy, especially everyone that meets me, and I do these tours. It's just socially draining. Yeah.
If you are like that and you're trying to give everyone so much, that'll drain your batteries completely.
Yeah. So I would just say realize what you're signing up for. And also, not to sound like a dick, but everyone these days thinks they can be an influencer.
So true, yeah.
You have to be a certain type of person. You have to have a personality for it. You have to have like a knack for it. You can't just turn on your camera and people aren't just going to watch you to watch you.
You also, and it's so much easier said than done, you also genuinely have to not give a shit.
Oh, yeah.
Because those comments, like if you go searching for those, they'll eat you up.
Oh, my
and people
God.
beat this shit. It doesn't matter if you're like the perfect person.
Oh,
you
no.
will get the shit kicked out of you one way or another. And people say they can handle that. But then what happens, or at least I've seen from the reality shows and people we've worked with and stuff, is they start changing everything about themselves to try and meet the expectations of what haters are saying. And all of a sudden you're seeing someone in the camera and you're like, who the fuck is that? It's not even them anymore.
Not the person I follow.
Yeah, not at all.
Exactly.
Not at all.
Exactly.
What kind of, I think about that the comments change their kind of like career personality. What kind of like metrics or things do Barstool look at you for to judge if you're being successful or not?
I would say probably my biggest thing now that they're judging me off of is my Sleep When You're Dead tours, like my ticket sales and who show up. Like if my parties are sold out, if we put the
Okay.
tickets out, if they're going to sell it, because that shows there's people that are online, there's people that are going to like your pictures. But if you can have, like 500 people to 1,000 people show up at each school that you're going
Huge.
to, that shows that you have pull and you have people that are going to come out, people that are going to buy your products. So I would say probably that. And then, of course, my podcast numbers by myself, my Plan Brie one.
Okay. Do you get all the downloads and numbers for all your podcasts or no? Do they not give you
No,
those?
I don't.
So you don't have a clue then what podcast blows up or which one doesn't do well.
I can see obviously my YouTube views, which
Right,
are
yeah.
majority of my podcast is a watch podcast. So yeah, but the back end of it, yeah, I don't really see that.
Interesting. I would think they would give you that feedback just so you can adjust like guests. I don't know, your style.
Yeah,
stuff
my
like that,
producer
but
can see like once in a while, but
Yeah.
I don't know it like every day.
Would you want to know it?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, because there's a lot of people that are like, ignorance
Yeah.
is bliss. I don't want to know. I'll just keep doing my thing.
Yeah, no, for sure. Because then you can see what works, what doesn't, and like if you're doing well or not.
Okay, I love it. When we said that we were having you on, the Money Mafia, those are the people that listen to the show. Their biggest question, so basic, but this is their basic question. What is it like having Dave as a boss? What is it like working alongside Josh in the public, kind of seeing when people go after him, behind closed doors and on set?
Okay, so like I said, when I first started Barstool, I didn't really know who Dave was. I knew he was a pizza guy.
Yeah.
So I did my research before I went in, and I was like, holy shit, this guy's fucking scary. Like, I was so scared of him. Like,
Really?
I saw a video that he made Rhea cry on stool scenes. I saw that he just yells at people, and he's just this outlandish character. So when I went in, I was terrified of him, and I mean, that was completely wrong. He's the best boss. I mean, I haven't had many bosses, but he is the best person to work with. He gives you full creative freedom. If you want something, all you have to do is ask, and he'll be straight up. He'll say no, or he'll say, yeah, you deserve it. If you think that you deserve something and you put it on the plate for him, he gives it to you, which is the craziest thing about a boss. Like, I can walk into my CEO's office, I can walk into Dave's office, and I can have a conversation with them without feeling like I'm being belittled or like there's like a barrier in the way. It's very transparent. And also, he's just like a nice dude. Like, he's just a great person to work with. He's hilarious, and he makes you want to work harder.
That's impressive. I mean, you hear so much about there's so much bullshit
So
out
much
there,
shit,
good
yeah.
and bad.
Yeah.
But this is coming from someone who works with him daily, like on the reg. So
Yeah.
that's good to know. And how about Josh?
Josh.
That's totally different with him.
No, Josh is great, but I had such I don't know, I had a perception of him before I met him. I thought he was gonna be one of those TikTok, like, asshole dudes that just think they're better than everyone and
Yeah.
all they do is dance on TikTok. And so I had very low expectations. I was like, I'm not gonna like this kid. And when I started BFFs, I didn't really get too close to him. Then I went to LA and I got to meet him in person, and he is the sweetest kid ever, the hardest worker. He's so supportive. He's also like trying to help me in any way, shape, or form he can. He tells me about all his business shit. He tells me what I should be doing, what I shouldn't be doing. He's just like, it's so crazy how young he is, because I'm like, this is a mini Dave in a way. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I look up to him, but he's younger than me.
Interesting. I think it's brilliant what Dave did by because there's no way Dave can connect that audience, that age group, without Josh. So to have him and then expose your podcast to all
Major.
those numbers is just huge. Because even Instagram and TikTok, it's such different people.
Oh, so different.
I mean, it's brilliant.
Yeah.
Who would you say is the best guest you guys ever had, and who would be your dream guest?
Best guest we've ever had. I think I want to say maybe Nessa.
Okay.
Nessa. I wasn't even on for the episode, but I was
yeah.
like, she's just the best. I like look up to her too. I think she was one of the best guests. But then funny wise, I would say, do you know who Jeffree Star is?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
People
yeah.
hate him, but
Yeah.
he was like the nicest person I had ever met. And
Really?
when he came on the pod, I didn't have many followers, and
Okay.
he was so nice to me. There's so many guests that when they come on the pod, they look past me because they're like, it's Josh and it's
Yeah,
Dave. And
yeah.
I take that into account. I'm like, it shows what type of person you are, of how you treat people.
100%.
It shows.
100%.
And there's been a lot of guests that have just overlooked me and just pretend that I'm not there. Jeffree Star was like the sweetest person I've ever met.
Okay, and Dream Guest.
Dream Guest, Emma Chamberlain.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
All right, I'm sure you guys could pull it off. All right, so you have 3 podcasts then total right now.
2.
You have 2 podcasts.
Yes.
2 podcasts in the tour.
Yes,
Right.
yes.
How many episodes are you recording a week?
3.
Okay, so 3 episodes. And the time commitment, if someone wanted to put in perspective what it takes to operate 2 podcasts, and I know, obviously you have a team, what do you think you put into prep, execution, post-planning, content, everything within a given week?
I would say, should I say just me or my team?
I'm curious both answers, actually.
Okay, so it has changed over the years. When I first started it by myself, Plan Brie, it was probably 4 to 5 hours of preparation because I was so tedious about what I was putting out and I was so worried if it was going to be good or not.
Mm-hmm.
So I put a lot of work into it before because it was just me in the beginning.
Okay.
So I would say 4 to 5 hours for one episode, and then post edit it would probably be 3 to 4 hours. So give or
Gotcha.
take whatever that is, and that is one episode. Now I do 2. I have a co-host and we have a whole set. We have to edit, we have to clip. So I would say it's takes a 3 days fully for one episode.
Yeah, I don't think people, that's why I ask, because I don't think people realize how much time. People
Yeah.
just think you guys just get on the mic
No.
and just rip it.
No.
Okay,
And
that's crazy.
It has built up a lot too. Now we just got a big studio, but
Yeah.
I mean, it started from a microphone in my college dorm. So you got to put in the work to receive.
100%.
Yeah.
With Dave and his antics and the guy is brilliant on camera.
Oh yeah.
is a lot, and these days too, you get so much exposure to how much is planned. Would you say a lot of his stuff is premeditated, scripted, and planned, and your stuff, or is it all off the cuff?
I would say with Dave, it's all off the cuff, but he has a switch. So when the camera's on,
He goes.
is Dave. He's camera Dave. He's Dave Portnoy. He's El Presidente, whatever. But when the camera's on, he is he's said it before. He's I don't want to do this, but it's awkward if he's
Yeah.
doing a pizza review and he just doesn't want to say crazy shit. But he's I have to. It's good for the camera.
Yeah.
But when the switch is off, he's very much a mellow, chill dude. Keeps to
Interesting.
himself.
Yeah, fascinating. All right, on camera and off camera. What about the performance of the show? You don't get the downloads, but are there any type of bonuses you would get based on how the show did, or any type of metrics that you are keeping an eye on to try and achieve these next levels of monetization?
Yeah, so this is the pros and cons of being with Barstool. We don't get anything extra if episodes do well. It's in the contract. So
Okay.
we sell our ads through Barstool. So whoever buys into it, they buy into it, they give the money to Barstool, we get our salary. So it's more so that I get bonuses through my merch.
Okay, so you get bonuses through your merch. And
Yeah.
how long is the contract, how long are you stuck to it or tied to a contract or signed to a contract?
It's different for everybody. So when I signed my first contract, it was 2 years.
Okay.
And then I renegotiated and I signed for another 2 years when that was almost up. So my contract right now is until May of 2024.
May 2024. Okay. And
Mm-hmm.
then at this time when you negotiate, will you just be doing it yourself, or will you engage someone to help you?
I will engage someone else
Engage
because
someone,
I've
okay.
been, since I've kind of blown up in the past, 5 or 6 months, I've been getting some crazy offers from other people, from other companies. Been it's crazy, getting poached from people.
What's the craziest offer you got?
I got a $1 million offer.
Damn.
Yeah.
What would you have to do? Was it a brand thing or a show thing?
No, it was to go join another team somewhere else.
Damn.
Yeah, it was crazy.
I mean,
but
that had to be stressful, but also wildly encouraging.
wildly encouraging. Also, when I got that deal, do you know KFC?
Yeah.
I called him up. He's kind of my backbone at Barstool. He's been
Yeah.
my dad there. He's told me what to go for, what to ask for, stuff like that. So when I got that deal, or I think I was just talking to him one day and I mentioned it and he called me. He's Brie, we need to talk about this. You need to know what to do with this. Even if you're not going to go for it, you can use it as leverage. You need to know who to talk to, what
That's
to
so
do.
cool that he offered that.
Oh, he's the
Yeah.
best. He's the best. So we talked about it, and it's kind of just been in my back pocket.
Mm-hmm.
And when I renegotiate, I can obviously bring that up. But I'm not going to say who it was with. But
Sure, you don't have to do that. Yeah.
but with the deal, it's not long. So it would be I go do this, I leave Barstool behind. This could last 6 to 8 months to a year, and then what? And then it's over, and then I have that $1 million. But then, what am I fucking doing? So I'm kind of just it's still up in the air. I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah.
the fuck to
But there's
do with
also like, I don't know. It's so funny that with the people that we have on this show, they have these crazy ranges of confidence
Mm-hmm.
and and there are people that have sat in your chair here with a lot less momentum than you and a lot less following, and they're like, oh, I'm good. I'm not worried at
The
all. I
people
got
I
this.
meet in this industry, I'm like,
Yeah, but you don't
pop
seem to
that.
feel that at all.
No, I don't know. I think it's, and I talk about this with Erica also.
Yeah, who's great. She's been on the show.
best.
She endorsed my book. Huge fan.
She's the best.
Everyone at the freaking company,
I know.
honestly, has been. People have all this bullshit they say, and then you meet these people and talk to
know.
them, and everyone is unbelievable.
Why do you think I did take that $1 million deal?
Yeah.
It's like, I fucking love Barstool.
Yeah.
But with Erica, I think it's this self-doubt thing, which she has it too. I have it. I think a lot of successful people have it.
Yeah.
It's just, I'm always in the back of my head thinking, fuck, am I doing enough? Can I do better? I'm not there. I always am reaching for more. And I think that's why I'm like, I don't take a step back and realize that what I'm doing is great and I am doing very well for myself.
Yeah.
But if I didn't have the self-doubt, I don't think I would be progressing at all.
Why wait though until May 2024 to bring this opportunity?
I'm
and
not.
say,
I'm not.
Yeah. I mean, that's all I'm saying. It's like
We have
if the-
mid-year reviews
Yeah.
at Barstool. So
I would go up there and bring
Yeah.
that and say, I did this once in my banking job. I got an offer from a competitor, and I just went in and I said, it was not $1 million. And I said to them, it's like, I don't want to leave. I love this place. And I'm not even asking you to match this.
Yeah.
But like, can you take a hard look at this and just do what you think is right? And they came back, it was like 48 hours. I think it was like a 30 or 40% raise. But it was a I don't know, 5-minute conversation.
Yeah.
Like, and for hours of, I think about the hours of work, 40% means in your pocket,
know,
you know?
I know.
So that's wild predicaments. What tip would you give, young female, you've created this direction way, very entrepreneurial. What tip would you give someone that just feels like they're lost in life? They can't figure it out. They don't know where to go.
Yeah, I mean, we've all been there, right? And just don't know what we're doing or feel like we don't know what we're doing. I would say, and it's so cliche, but really you have to believe in yourself. If you are always, and I think I used to do this a lot, I was just very negative, or I was like a pessimist with everything that I did. I just didn't think that what I was doing was enough, or I would compare myself to other women, and that was my biggest downfall, was comparing myself to other people. Once I just looked at myself in the mirror and I was like, this is what you're doing. Stop looking at Emma Chamberlain. Stop looking at Alex Cooper. Stop looking at this other person or comparing yourself to someone that's doing the same thing.
Yeah.
I was like on this fast track where I wasn't looking back. Also, don't let men intimidate you, which
that.
I have felt. They try to do a lot, especially when you're a young female. They think that you're stupid. They think that they have the upper hand on you and that they can walk all over you because you're young and you're a girl. And just don't be intimidated by men.
Chriselle Stiles from Selling Sunset came on. She said her tip, she would deal with these extremely wealthy men in LA who had the biggest egos, and she's representing them to buy their property. And she even said sometimes, I know everything they're talking about, but just because I literally nod my head and act like they're informing me, they feel good. Little they know I'm 4 steps ahead, and then they're buying the house from me, and who's laughing to the bank with the check. Do you have a strategy you use when you do feel intimidated that maybe someone could like try to use themselves?
Yeah, maybe. I guess I'm a little opposite.
Okay.
I'm very much like, I want you to know that I know that we're equal and it's an equal playing field.
Okay.
So when I go into a place, I feel like a lot of women, and even some of the women I work with, or even like my co-host, who is my best friend, I try to like give her advice. She's very timid or doesn't want to speak up when it's something that she wants to like advocate for herself for. I'm just, be loud. Be loud, be aggressive with what you want. And I think I take that from Erica, because she has taught me so much, and the way that she handles herself. And it's not in a, I don't know, over the top way. You're not being arrogant or aggressive in a way that, it's annoying, but it's just be loud with what you want and like speak up for yourself, which I never used to do until Barstool, which is weird.
Yeah. And everyone at Barstool that kills it, at Barstool and outside Barstool, like Paul Bissonnette and Erica and Dave and you and John, all you guys all kind of have that common trait. Just like speak up for what you want, make it loud, make it proud, and do it.
It's very Boston.
It's very Boston, very Northeast, you guys.
Yeah,
All right,
yeah.
before we get into your trading secret, I got to ask you just a little bit about like money management. So young girl, drop out of school, you're coming to this money, you're doing well. How do you like manage all this? Like, it's a lot different than you said, the way you grew up.
Yes, yes.
Are there any like principles you try to use when it comes to money management?
Yes, for sure. So like I said, my parents have no idea really what I do, and I make more money than my parents ever have now. So it's hard for me to go to them for advice and be like, what should I be saving? What should I do? But I'm very scared that one day, like, it's all gonna be gone.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, where's my next check? I need my money. So every single bonus that I've ever gotten from the day that I made that my money back from my merch,
Yeah.
or doubled it, whatever, I put every penny away. So every extra income that I get, I put away. I also do all of these shows where Barstool lets me do, where I like tour and I work with DJs and I throw events. Every penny I get, extra income, I put it all away.
Nice.
So my savings is great. My savings is a lot. And also, my boyfriend has taught me like how to invest. And
Sweet.
he hasn't really taught me, kind of does it for me, but find someone that knows how to invest.
There you go.
And
If
then
you don't, find
let them
someone who
help you.
does.
Yeah. Because I had no idea what I was
Sure.
doing. And I talked to my boyfriend about it, and he's like, yeah, I'll show you. I'm like trying to learn, but now I have money and different things, and
I love it.
get to watch your money grow.
Okay, so when last question about this, the things he tells you to invest in, I know he's kind of helping it, and he knows what he's doing.
really doing it.
But do you know any of like maybe one or two investments you might be in?
I think I invested in like Tesla a little bit
There you go.
ago,
All right,
a
that's a
while
good
ago,
one.
and then I invested in. I invested in some drink, but I probably can't even say it because I'll get in trouble with like
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Barstool.
yeah.
But
Okay, so
I
don't
invest in a lot of like niche little things
Yeah.
that I see and I think are going to do well, or that I'm passionate about.
Okay.
And then I'm like, oh, I feel like I'm attached to something that I like and I want to watch grow. So
That's
it feels
perfect.
Good. Yeah.
So Daniela Monet just came out. She was on Disney Channel. That was her advice, was like, go invest in just stuff that you know and you like.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I like Whole Foods. I just like it. I don't know anything about, I don't know what a balance sheet is. I don't know what an income statement is, but go invest in Whole Foods.
Exactly, yeah.
And then you'll have like pride in it, and you'll be able to pay attention and get you started. That is awesome. Brianna, this has been a great episode, extremely informative. Congrats on all your success, but you got to leave us with one trading secret. Trading secret someone couldn't find in a textbook or learn in a classroom. They can only hear from your story. It could be about career advancement, money management, life navigation. What can you leave us with?
Well, I think the easy one is always be 10 minutes or more early. Like, always be 10 minutes
Shit,
early.
and you know what? You
to
were
everything.
10 minutes early here.
Always be 10 minutes early, no matter what it is in life. It like builds time management, which is like so important. My
Yeah.
dad always taught me to be early to things. Like, even if I'm going to coffee with my friends, I'm early. It just builds that. If you're early, things will come to you and people will notice. So always be early to things. And then this one, I think this is more for if you want to be an influencer, if you wanted to go into the industry that I'm in. Keep a friend like close to you at all times. Keep a friend from before all of it. I have my ride or die with me, that if I didn't have that friend or that rock to keep me grounded, I would probably be sitting here and being like, oh, I'm the shit, I'm the best. And
Good
then
point.
I would crumble. So I think keep someone that you value and that you trust their opinion close to you at all times in life.
Those are great trading secrets, especially just to have that person to keep you grounded.
Oh, yeah, it's major.
The rocky road of life in all directions. Career will drive your ego or depression or anxiety in so many different levels and different chapters. Having that solid foundation is everything. Brianna, this has been unbelievable. Your story is fucking wild. College dropout, goes to Barstool, absolutely crushes it. Thank you for being on this episode of Trading Secrets. Where can people, I know we talked a little bit about it on the podcast, but tell everyone where they can find your merch, your live shows, and your handles.
Yes. Okay. Thank you for having me. This was awesome. But you can find me on Instagram, Brianna Chickenfry, TikTok, Brianna Chickenfry. But my most passionate things, obviously, are my podcasts. So Plan Brie Uncut on YouTube and BFF's podcast. So
Beautiful. Guys, if you need a good laugh, go check it out. It's unbelievable stuff. And stay tuned for the recap. We are going to dive into all things Barstool Sports, and the Curious Canadian will be here to ask his questions about Brianna's career.